We're going to talk about the future of your CD player in your car. And our car care tip this week, we're going to talk about how to put your car on a salt-free diet. We've got all that in your phone calls, so let's get started.
It's time for Auto Talk, the show where you get expert advice about that car or truck. To ask a question or make a comment, call 736-0186. That's 736-0186. And now, here's that sultan of the spark plugs, that king of the carburetor, that doctor of the double clutch, a prince of a man, Ed Welch.
I've been driving all night, my hands wet on the wheel.
And good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Saturday, April 8th, 2017 edition of Auto Talk. I am your host, Ed Welch, and for the rest of this hour, we'll be discussing matters that are of pertinence to you and your automobile. As always, we hope to impart to you some useful automotive information and perhaps provoke some automotive conversation on this cool but finally sunny day in the Mohawk Valley. I don't think we've seen the sun for over a week now. It's good to see it. Hey, we've got a lot of stuff to talk about today, but we're going to talk about first how to put your car on a salt-free diet. You know, my doctor's always told me it's a good idea to be on a salt-free diet as much as possible. And, of course, my doctor's always correct about these things. But you know what? What about putting your car on a salt-free diet? Well, as you may recall, folks, last fall, we had Jeremy Young join us from Crown Products and Crown Rust Control. And, of course, we talked about how to protect your car from the ravages of winter using Crown products. And certainly it was an eye-opening exchange of information we had with the guys from Crown. But I bet you didn't know, because I didn't know until not too long ago, that Crown has a way to get the salt off your car. So we're going to talk about that this morning. And I figured we need to get someone on with us that's an expert in this product, so we did. So we called our friends up at Crown. And joining us this morning is Brent Savelli from Crown Rust Control Products. And Brent, good morning.
Hi, good morning, Ed.
Nice of you to join us today. And folks don't know, Crown Products is up in Schaumburg, Ontario. And has the snow melted in Ontario yet, Brent?
Actually, you know what? Just today. But it was also -5 yesterday, and now it's +10. So it doesn't make a lot of sense up here either.
Yeah, it's kind of tough for this part of the world this year. You know, we either have winter or we don't, but then we don't want it, then we have it. It's kind of like that, right?
Exactly.
Brent, if you could, tell us a few things and remind our people, or my listeners, what Crown Rust Control Products is. What kind of a company is it?
So Crown Canada, we're number one in rust control in Canada. And as far as the actual rust-proofing product, what makes us different is that we have an oil-based treatment that has the ability to creep and displace moisture and cover the entire chassis of the vehicle.
Yeah, and I think when we talked about this last fall with Jeremy, one of the things we pointed out is that this product covers everything. So it protects transmission lines, brake lines. When you put it in the doors, it gets into the seams where the welds are, and as you said, it creeps. So the product gets every place and helps keep moisture out of stuff, which I think is very important. Back in the old days, and some old timers listening to me, I saw a product back in the 70s. It was like Cosmoline, like the Army used, and when I first saw Crown products, it reminded me of it. I realized it's way different. But that back in the day, that stuff had a creeping property to it, and that's what struck with me back again almost 40 years ago. But when I saw this product, I said, this reminded me of that. And it turns out, of course, this is much less toxic and a much nicer product to put on your vehicle. So, last fall we had Jeremy, and you guys were great, and we had some product out there for people to try. But then I read, winter's about to end, and I think we're all grateful that winter's ending. But you know what, Jeremy? I realized that today's world, especially, all the DPW departments, the public works people, are switching to a product that for road treatment that is liquid based, and they spray this stuff on the roads. And you know what? From a safety standpoint, I can't argue with safety when it comes to motorists and us being on the roads, because they begin to pre-treat the roads now. And of course, you could never spread salt before the snow hit because the wind would just blow it off. but then when the water hits this stuff, it activates. So we're driving through this stuff, and of course this stuff gets up on our cars. And we hope that products like Crown Rust Control will help our cars from rusting away, but that product, that salt and all that chemical, that stuff stays up in the chassis, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. A lot of people don't realize this. They think they take their car through a car wash and you're removing all of the salt. But the problem with the salt, and especially now the liquid brine that they're putting on the roads, is that it actually chemically bonds to your vehicle. So it bonds to the metal. And what happens is when warmer weather hits, like for instance today, it'll actually draw in moisture, hold moisture up against the metal, and then this, of course, creates a stewing pot for corrosion.
And, of course, people say, well, we have a lot of magnesium and aluminum on our cars now, so it doesn't rust like it used to, right?
That's not at all the case. It is true that it's not going to rust in maybe the traditional sense, but what actually happens is that the material breaks down. Sometimes you'll see aluminum just completely dissolve over time.
And I have seen that on aluminum and magnesium parts, and all of a sudden you're looking at it, and the edge of it's gone.
Yeah.
And you say, wow, look at that. And that's really from what you said, this brine and these chemicals just adhere to the metal, and it just keeps eating it. And I guess even if it dries out, you drive in the rain, it kind of reactivates it, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And even on a dry day, if it's warm enough out, the humidity in the air, salt again draws in moisture from the air and will hold it to the vehicle.
So really the problem just doesn't go away unless the chemical or the salt is not on the vehicle itself.
Exactly.
So when Crown looked at the rust control, you're looking at a 12-month type of process here, because not only do you want to protect it in the wintertime, but you want to find a way to get the salt off the vehicle. So basically, it's not on there to begin with. So you guys invented the salt eliminator.
That's exactly it. Yeah, we came up with the salt eliminator as an idea to complement our rust proofing. Again, something to address this salt issue. And to put it simply, like when salt bonds to metal, it can require 35,000 pounds of mechanical pressure to remove the chloride from metal. So again, like a regular car wash just isn't cutting it. The product that we design has over 35 different ingredients, and what it simply does is it breaks the bond that the chloride makes with the metal, making it easy to remove.
And how? So basically, it gets it breaks that bond between the chloride or the salt and the metal itself, and then basically it just washes it off.
Exactly.
So the way you describe a process, how this is applied to somebody's vehicle, if you would, please.
Yeah, absolutely. So in a desalting, we actually have special foaming guns in that, and what we'll do is we'll raise the car up on the lift, and we spray down the entire underneath of the vehicle as well as the entire body of the vehicle with the salt eliminator product at a high concentration. We let it sit for about 2 to 5 minutes, and then we rinse it all away, and then this removes all of those harmful chlorides.
And of course, it's kind of difficult to do that in your driveway.
Yeah, definitely, because the key is really getting underneath the vehicle, and again, also having the proper tools to get the product foaming the way it needs to.
And would somebody just have to do this once for the season, so to speak? Would you do this, like, let's say now, because April's, we're thinking that winter's finally over and they're not going to be putting any more salt on the highway. So if we did this, let's say, as a spring maintenance item on our vehicle, would be okay for the season then?
Absolutely. This is the ideal time to do it. That being said, unfortunately, again, that liquid salt that they put on the roads, for the next few months, it's still getting up on the vehicle, even when you think it's not there.
Because it's on the road
it is
still.
a good thing to do multiple treatments during this time of year. But ideally, this is the best time to do it.
So we want to do, and again, I guess people may not even realize this. Everyone, cars is such a big investment, and outside of our homes, I don't think we buy anything that costs more than a car unless, somebody's got a lot of money and they're buying boats and things of that nature. But for the average person, when we buy a vehicle, we want to keep it for a while. And, of course, living here in central New York where we have lots of winter, not unlike up where you guys, and I think that's why, I think you guys, and especially up in Canada, have developed this stuff because you've got a lot of winter. And, the Canadian provinces have tons of snow and tons of bad weather for good 6 months of the year. So, over time, you guys had to find a way to keep your own cars from getting eaten away. It's that battle between keeping the roads safe and then having them eat your cars while you're driving on them. But, we're no different here in central New York, and I think as time goes on, more and more highway departments are going to continue using that liquid stuff, which I think is far worse for your car than the old-fashioned salt.
It's actually 10 times more corrosive than old-fashioned salt.
Yeah, and I'm not going to argue with the highway guys because their job is to keep us safe on the roads. So it's kind of a, you're taking some really bad medicine to drive safely. You know what I'm saying, Brent?
Yeah, absolutely.
So basically, what we're saying is this product breaks the bond between the metal and the salt or the chemicals or the chloride, basically, and then we just wash it off the car and it's gone. But how long does the process take to do the service?
Generally, it's about between 15 to 20 minutes.
So you're not tying your car up for the whole day for something like this? No,
absolutely not.
And when it's done, you basically the car comes down off the lift and you can drive it away?
Absolutely.
I always encourage people to use there's people talk about the car wash business, and I always encourage people to keep their cars clean, but it's very, very difficult to wash the underside of a vehicle because, again, unless you have a lift and you're wearing a rain suit, how else are you going to do it? So basically, this not only gets your car clean from underneath, but you can get the salt off while we're at it.
Yeah, exactly. Not to mention the actual product itself, as an overall car wash, brings up excellent shine on the paint, and it also creates a beading effect. So it's hydrophobic, so it repels moisture. So a car actually comes out looking like you just waxed it.
And I think people might, if you think about if you go to a regular car wash and you want to hit the button for the Simonize or something, the high end one. When you drive out of it, you can see the water beating off the car. This product has that type of effect.
Exactly.
So, I talked about the difficulty in getting it, obviously, yourself under the car, but people can buy this product for home use for a car wash. Is that right?
Absolutely. So you can buy it in 4-liter jugs or in the aerosol cans. A big issue, again, this time of year is removing the salt stains from carpets. And so, again, we carry it in the aerosol cans so that customers can take it home and easily do that to clean their floor mats. Also, you can use it on walkways. It's safe on just about any surface. It's a very unique product that way. Generally, a lot of the other products out there designed to remove salt are extremely acidic, and you wouldn't want to get anywhere close. It's more designed for industrial use. This product, however, is safe on all surfaces. So everything from removing salt stains from your shoes, other equipment that you might use like snow blowers and that, and at your home. It's a great way to desalt them before you put them away for the season.
And and you can't help but notice, but a lot of times if you're using a calcium chloride product, it'll actually stain your driveway.
No, that's absolutely true. Again, that salt, it stains the driveway, but the chlorides can actually break down your walkways too. Like you'll see it on the bricks sometime on the side of houses. It'll eat the bricks apart, so it's a good thing to actually wash your walkway down with the product as well.
So if you were to buy this stuff, let's say for home use, how do you mix it?
So if you're going to use it for home use, for instance, what we talked about, removing from walkways, cleaning, you generally dilute in the 4-liter jug, it comes in a concentrate form, and you would dilute it about 1 to 3. So 1 part product to 3 parts water. If you buy it in the aerosol can, it's already pre-diluted for you. It's a ready-to-use formula.
So basically, you'd vacuum your car, let's say for carpet use, or your floor mats would be another great use for that.
Yeah.
You just clean them, normally vacuuming, and you'd spray this stuff on. You let it sit a while.
Absolutely. So basically with the salt stains in your carpet, what you would want to do is you want to get the product foaming because it is a detergent, a soap. So when you spray it onto the salt stains, you let it sit for a period of time, and then you would take a scrub brush, dip it in warm water, and then just scrub out the stain. It just needs a little bit of time to get in beneath that thick layer of salt that might build up in a carpet over the period of the winter.
And of course, this product's safe on anything: upholstery, plastic, leather, vinyl. It doesn't hurt anything, correct?
Doesn't hurt any surface. No, safe on any surface.
Well, folks,
sorry. Go ahead.
Now, Jeremy, people use this all the time up in Canada.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's funny. We were featured for years. We were featuring it at the home show. Again, because many women loved it for removing the salt stains from their clothing and fabric as well at the end of the year. So, like, again, shoes. There's so many different uses for the product, whether it be washing your vehicle this time of year, cleaning up your walkways, cleaning the carpets. It's definitely something to have around.
Hey, Brent, we're going to take a commercial break, and when we come back, I think you were telling me you wanted to announce something, but I want to do that after the commercial break. Is that okay, Brent?
That's okay.
Okay, folks, we're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, Brent Savelli from Crown Rust Control Products will be back on the air with us, and he's got an announcement he'd like to make, so we'll wait till we come back. Folks, you're listening to Auto Talk on your News Talk and Sports Leader.
There's so much we do.
Celebrating 25 years. Auto Talk with Ed Welsh on your News Talk and Sports Leader, WIBX 950.
And welcome back to Auto Talk. 24 minutes past the hours. We're cruising along here on a Saturday morning, and we've got Brent Savelli with us from Crown Rust Control Products from Schaumburg, Ontario. And Brent, really appreciate your time this morning. We were talking earlier, and you said you wanted to make an announcement.
Yeah, so the announcement is for the next 3 weeks, we're going to be giving away 2 free salt eliminator applications per week, and that's going to be done through WIBX 950.
Oh, that's great. So for those of you listening, folks, when Jeremy Young was on last fall, we did give away some rust control product treatments, and they're kind enough to want to do this again with the salt eliminator treatment. So it's very kind of you to want to do that, Brent.
Again, happy to be on the show.
I want to thank you very much for calling in today. And is there anything we left out that I failed to ask you about?
No. Just again, one thing to highlight is a lot of people think of the fall and getting the rust proofing done, but now is the ideal season to get the salt eliminator package done, and as well, if you haven't done it already, to actually get the Crown Rust Control treatment done as well.
And could you do one, then the other in the same day?
Absolutely. You can do them both, for sure. So once they would do the salt eliminator application first to remove all the harmful chlorides, and then they would put the actual rust proofing agent on underneath. A lot of people think, well, you can't do that when the underneath of the vehicle is still wet, but that's not the case with Crown Rust Control, as our product has the ability to displace moisture. So it gets in, penetrates through whatever moisture is already there, and removes it from the surface of the vehicle.
So again, it's very hydrophobic in how it works.
Yes, excellent, yeah.
Well, Brian, I can't thank you enough. I appreciate you calling us on early Saturday morning. I want to thank you very much, and give my regards to the rest of the team up there at Crown Rust Control Products. And next week, folks, we'll start giving some giveaways on behalf of our friends at Crown. Brent, thank you very much for calling in this morning.
Thanks a lot, Ed. I appreciate it.
Have a great weekend.
You too.
Bye-bye now. Folks, it's 26 minutes past the hour. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the CD. You remember the CD? Well, we